you can't, it's one of those things too that you can't describe to somebody. Like, they have to see it, and you can't do it justice.
And that's what the procession offers the community. And it brings people together in ways that other things don't, just informally, just, hey, let's show up and make something.
There are not very many other events that really push to include the audience, rather than the audience standing on the sides. The audience needs to be in the parade.
It is a really great expression of art and creativity, but the biggest thing is joy that it brings to the processioners and joy that it brings to the public.
The absolute joy that I think everybody experiences when they're seeing all these wonderful creations. I mean, just absolutely fantastic things. You know, you take paper bags and glue and water and you make stuff. Or you take a 5-gallon bucket and a bunch of beads and material and you make something that looks like this. And you see the children in there, you know, working with hot glue and paper mache and fabric. And just the smiles on everybody's face as they do that stuff, that's what keeps me coming back. It all kind of seems like a dream, and it always seems this way a little bit, and all of a sudden there will be people filling the streets and people sharing laughter, and it'll be, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the community coming out to fill the streets of Olympia with laughter and joy.
And the Procession of the Species Celebration. The procession is actually a project of Earthbound Productions, an organization I started in 1991, and then created a project called the Procession in 1995. And it has been an expanding bloom ever since. Often, frequently asked, like, okay, well, what's the why behind it? And there is a why, and there is also a structure on how to get to that why. So the intention of the procession, written out from the very beginning, is to elevate the dignity of the human spirit by enhancing the cultural exchange between communities and the natural world. And to do that through the languages of art, music, and dance, to inspire another sequence, another structure of imagination, creation, and sharing. And it's that sharing component, that liberation that says, hey, look, Mom, no hands, that immediacy that welcomes a community in, your neighbors in, and also engenders an acceptance. And that's the structure. I came out of Seattle, came down here to Evergreen and got my master's degree. I'm a journeyman carpenter. And I came for the specific reason, having been blessed with a lot of travel, hitchhiking around the world and all, that when it comes to the environment, to the natural world, we have definitely sort of lost that sort of cultural relationship to it. And by culture, I mean, it just comes to a point very similar to the Endangered Species Act, which just says, you know what, you got to stop it. We may not have it figured out, but we can't just let these things, these creatures, this life go extinct. And there's another thing that, in relationship to that, which I personally recognize, is that this is at 1990, that knowledge itself was becoming increasingly unkind, and the media aspects were becoming increasingly unkind, and at that time, people were trying to pretty well push the environment to the back corner. So let's get a celebration, but without written words or spoken words or symbols, and without motorized vehicles, without pets. Let's just put ourselves in the process of creative relationships and inspire this concept of acceptance and sharing in honor of the fact that we're on a planet in infinity, floating around. It's miraculous and weird, and we should be a kinder people because of it. It's essential to realize that there were a lot of people that wanted to make it happen at the beginning, who had some inclination of what was possible. And then there have been people throughout for the past 20 years or 23, 24 years, that really held to the Spirit, that agreed to the Spirit, that we could be in a place of recognizing that we don't have an individual identity with a word, it's, across our chest, a banner across our chest, but nonetheless, we found ourselves with the strength of that internal idea of having created something to be part of, the larger society and have an influence on what that looked like in the terms of behavior. And so it was a 20-year plan with one generation of thought, and for all ages, and we don't ask questions about where you're from and what your preferences are and what your income is. It just is, we're all on this planet together, and we talk about it, but rarely do we design actually how do you create that and what does the behavior look like. So we did that, and that was great. So then COVID hit, and I will tell you, it's exhausting work, and you're holding a vision and a context through, from 1995 to, nearly 1925, the world has changed. And we did great, and we made it. We got to 2019. It's good, it's cool. It's like, and then our behavior changed as a society. And there were just, no matter where I went, there were just a lot of questions to me personally. What are you going to do about it? And so you just make the decision that when the stakes are high, I didn't even know if the procession was really relevant after these years. The stakes, there's something at stake. In other words, we can visualize it, we can see it. And so that's what motivated me to speak to other people and say, okay, do we want to do this? I don't know where this year is going to go. I really don't know where this year is going to go. There's been some rough patches starting this year with some aspects of the community, which were totally predictable, understandable. That where they came from was not predictable, but we knew that there's just, we're not in step as a community over certain things right now. So there was a lot of trying to just sort of understand what are the essential components of doing a procession, what makes it work, and how do they interact with each other. So while there's, we call it the rise of reflection, that for us as organizers, the group organizers, where we get together once a week, really try to pan out what's been going on in the art studio. We try to say, okay, these are the important things, and how are they interacting together? And there's just a lot of uncertainties.
Why to bring it back? It's important to the community because it's a place where we welcome people to come in and create something that they can take down the street uh, in honor of Earth Day, which is still important after all these years.
We have the infrastructure. We have all the materials and some of the things from the past available. But in another way, we're starting from scratch. We're actually, at this time, there's so many people that have moved into our area of Thurston County that there are people that have heard of this mythical thing called the procession, but don't know what it really is. And so there's a lot of education in that regard. So this particular year, what it looked like for me is, okay, we have to have a relationship with Thurston County. We have to have a relationship with the city of Olympia. We have to have obvious partnerships that step equally into collaboration. Those are not the same words, partnership and collaboration. But we had to energize that, in effect, in ways that we had not done before.
But yeah, so this is going to go like this. And this gets spun around.
With the ability to collaborate with the city, and for them to be able to provide us some community space where we can put out an invitation to the community to come in and create art is phenomenal.
So there are people that want this to happen, and I have seen something change. I definitely seen something change. So moving towards that collaborative partnership, as opposed to partners over here who are basically funders, and the collaborators over here where the people are really in here sweeping the floor, getting the school groups showing up, getting that meld together. We're still working on that, and maybe that's part of what that's our focus for the next 5 years.
We've tried a new format for organizing ourselves, and I think at first it was rough because we didn't understand how to coordinate ourselves. And the thing is, the way it's worked in the past is it's just sort of a symbiotic relationship that we all have. And if you were to try to write down how it is we come together and do what we do, it would be very difficult to explain. Eli is a huge force in organizing everything. He's got an incredible map in his brain of how it needs to go. He sees an empty room and he knows exactly where everything's going to go, and people just put things where he says, and it works, and it's beautiful, and the space is utilized to its fullest extent. And it's just been, this year has been, I think a lot of us didn't really think we'd get it off the ground, and we have, and it's moving along. We've discovered also that whereas before we had random workshops, most of the people that are in the studio now are there because of workshops. And the workshop format is really working for us. And people are signing up.
So working with the procession crew early on is super fun because we get to pull out all the muscle memory, or at least try to remember what we did the year before, what we have to do, and then start to organize it. And as the items come out of storage, it brings back a flood of memories. Oh, I remember, that tiger, or I remember that flower, or when those people were dancing ants. So it brings back a lot of memories from past processions. And as I talk to community members through my work and my activities, they learn that, oh, you're on procession, is it coming back? Or how come it hasn't come back yet for 4 years? Why can't we have procession? It's an outdoor event. Well, people don't realize it takes time, it takes money, and it takes space, and it takes a ton of volunteer hours.
And it's so exciting to watch the process, and it's exciting to watch people, because so many people are, well, first, so many people think they can't do art, which isn't true. And getting them into the studio saying, yes, you can, come here, take the little tool, here's your tool, hang on, here we go, and have them do something like this piece that's just one panel. And it'll end up being in the procession, teaching them how to do this. We have workshops, where you learn how to do pieces. And the joy it brings to people to do something with their hands, do something that's creative, produce something beautiful, and to know it's going to be part of something for years to come.
It's been an awesome opportunity, and I think that we are getting a lot of people who really want to participate and make art in a community setting. And I think probably more so than prior to COVID. And I think for a lot of people, that experience of isolation and not being able to be in community has really, for all of us, kind of changed the social contract a little bit, and people are really making a big effort to work together.
The energy that you get working with a bunch of people and seeing what they're doing and how they're, putting things together. You could do this at home. I have done parts of this at home, but it's not the same energy as working with all the people here. And that's so much fun. And people have been so generous with supplies and so generous with their time. And the space is amazing, and it's just a wonder. It really is.
Hi, I'm Michelle Seaver, and I have been part of the procession since my kids were little, and my oldest kid's 17 now. So I've participated either by being in the audience or joining with the group. I was with Oli Samba one year. It was so fun. This year, I'm only working part-time, so I have been able to be down here and immersing myself in very huge projects. I'm inspiring to teach middle school science, and so I've been working in middle schools this last 2 years, finished up a master's degree, and so I worked with Reeves Middle School this year. We started a procession of the Species Club, and our focus was the axolotl. So we're building a 15-foot axolotl puppet. Also over there, they're building, the students are making an axolotl habitat float that a paper mache axolotl will go on top. And then the students have also been creating helmets and costumes. So we're going to be a big axolotl troop. Procession. We're excited. It has been one pickup after another, including today when I thought I had the structure pretty much figured out. It just completely fell over. So the beautiful thing about being in a public studio is my dear friend that I just met happens to be an engineer, and he was like, oh, Michelle, this is what you need to do. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, because this whole thing had to be cut open and redone and more secured in order to hold this huge thing up. So it's been really fun, but it has definitely been, I come here thinking I'm going to get this much done, and I only get this much done. But yeah.
So this is my first procession. And I found it it's just intriguing to try and build something. I looked up items on the endangered species list and discovered the macaw is there, so I thought, why not make a big macaw? So, and a lot of people are saying, wow, I didn't know the macaw was on the endangered species list. You know, engineering only goes so far on paper, and then you're just trying to figure out how to do things in real life, and you're just changing things. I really like what I would call the field engineering of trying to figure things out and make things structurally sound, and it's like, yeah, there's an unexpected analysis that you have to do to make sure things are secure and not fall apart on you. I love this material that they were able to find for me here. So the fun part also is I love building projects as inexpensively as possible and with reclaimed products. And so aside from the lights, which honestly are more expensive than I want to admit, the rest of the project probably is not even over $100 because so many things that I was able to use here are reclaimed materials.
My name is Ava, and this is actually my first procession. I just recently moved to Washington. And yes, this is my first time kind of learning about this whole thing and figuring everything out and making something for it. So it's been super awesome. Yeah, for sure. Well, right now I'm making a manta ray to carry. I'm going to carry it on a pole, and I'm thinking about putting on some of my roller skates to go skating with it. But yeah, that's the whole thing. My aunt and my little cousin, who I'm going to be walking in with, are going to be humpback whales. So we're doing a water theme. So I thought a manta ray would be a good option. Yeah, it's been super awesome. Yeah, I was a little nervous at first just because this is the first sculpture of this kind that I've made before. So figuring out all the minor details and things like that. But it's been super awesome. Everyone here has been really helpful, you know, helping me figure out like how to make sure it's like structurally sound and getting it all set up. So it's been awesome. The community here is great. And that's really what I like to look. Really the kind of art that I like is very community based. Everyone's helping each other, and so yeah, it's been really fun building it and everything. So I'm just really excited to just see what it really is all about. I mean, my friends have been telling me that it's a big deal, it's super awesome, and they're super excited to see me walk in it. So I'm just really excited to see everybody come together and show off the art that they've made and get to see all these pieces out in the open in public and everything. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Didn't get blended right, so I'm trying to fix them. Very cool. So my name is Megan Park, and I have been participating in we moved to Olympia in 2007, and at that point I had young kids, and I think we've participated every year that we had a procession. So we've missed it the last 5 years, but my kids are now 27 and 23, so now I get to just do it for me. Yeah, I am making a very large octopus. So this is one batiqued leg of a very large octopus. And my mom, who died this past year, was always we always did the procession together. I mean, our family, we were 6 polar bears, we were, you know, a family of owls, we were 12 peacocks. I mean, we always, and my mom was kind of the driving, you know, she was so creative and we always did really fun things. And so I was determined this year, since she's gone, to do something in her honor. So her favorite creature is an octopus, and so I thought I had to do, you know, something that felt like it was in her honor. So this very large octopus is in her honor, and this is just one tentacle. And this is actually a king-size sheet. So, and where this, and I haven't taken the wax off, but you can kind of see on here what it will look like if I scratch it. You'll see that it becomes white. So once I take the wax off, like all of these dots and lines will be really bright. So can you see? So this is all wax. And all these lines are wax. So, but these are, so this is the eye, and there will be a 3D eye, which is why I didn't paint it. But so that's the top of the head, and then it will be shaped around that head body, and then we'll have the 8 tentacles coming off of it.
Very cool. And so, are you gonna be like under it while walking through? No, very cool. That is so fun. I did the Luminary Festival last year with Emily. I didn't make a luminary, but I joined in the day of and just picked up a luminary and joined in. I moved to Olympia to be part of a community that was accepting of me, and that day to me just felt so special. Walking around in a crowd of people who were just there to celebrate together, surrounded by people watching us move through the crowd that were happy and excited to be a community and celebrate together. So I wanted to be part of the procession this year. We have come up with this patchwork caterpillar. I liked the idea of a patchwork, and I think it's sort of a metaphor for being a part of a community, that we're all these sort of messy, jagged pieces, but when we come together, we create something beautiful. This caterpillar is also dedicated to a couple of people that these lovely ladies have lost this year, so we're excited to be walking around in it and honoring them.
And when I moved to Olympia, the first time I ever saw the procession, I went, oh my God, only here would this happen. And I've been there every year since, so it's an amazing, amazing thing.
Yeah.
So I'm Jerry Barabitsky. I've been involved with the procession since 2007. I made my first species in 2008. So I'm making a monarch butterfly, and I'm making it small for me. So this is operated by 12 or 13 people, and the goal is to have it fly through the street and then land on something and open and close its wings and then fly away. It's been great. I've been making a lot of it also at Western State Hospital with patients there. They've helped tie knots, and they helped me with the structure a little bit. That's been a joy. And then it's equally fun to be here at the studio and get such great volunteers to keep working on the piece for me. Elements of the procession I respond to are its purity and its simplistically. 3 simple rules, and trying to really connect with species and get to know them. I think that's where the greatest value of this comes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Daniel. I've been involved with the procession since about 1997. And I watched the first one in 1996 and thought that I absolutely had to be involved after that. And at that point, I realized that most of my friends were like the organizers and things like that, so it was pretty easy to get involved. First year, I made a 40-foot dragon. It was carried by about 18 people. And after that, I vowed never again to make something you had to carry. And so this is my rock. I made the rock about, the original foundation of the rock was made about 20 years ago, and it had the crab on top of it. And I was surrounded by a kelp forest. I was roped into the cart itself, so the cart would follow me wherever I went, which allowed my hands to be free to work the crab claws. The flying fish is new this year. Okay, it's something I made this year, and I wanted to build something that went on top of the rock, other than the crab, because the crab had already been done like 3 or 4 times. My dream would be to have a permanent community art studio, one that's big enough, possibly even bigger than this, like possibly a whole school that could be centered towards a community art studio. And have it stocked with everything you need to make whatever it is you wanted to do.
So she'll wear that, and we'll have worms crawling up along with her arm, which will be a worm.
And I think I'm going to be a Roma tomato because I'm 6'1".
Not a beefsteak.
My little friend here prompted some inspiration. Ah, there we go. And we happen to have a tomato costume at our house in our costume bin. And so when I got my cast about a month ago, it was like, you know, when life gives you lemons, you make tomato worms. So my friend Danny made these charming little worms, and so it's going to be a party.
And this was my first year to participate. We work with somebody who's been very involved with procession for years and years and has been talking to me about it quite a bit. I saw it one year right before the pandemic, and then now it's back and I'm doing it for the first time, and I'm going to be a monarch caterpillar. So it's going to be interesting. I'll be wearing it and dragging my tail behind me. Well, we help each other a lot since we both have broken wrists.
It's convenient that her left wrist is
right. I have one dominant hand among us.
So between us, we're a whole person. We decided.
Well, let's see. Chris and I have been scrounging for materials, and Chris found the big tubes that I have sewn a cover for my caterpillar. And then I made the worms for Chris's costume. I've had some paper mache involved with mine. You're going to be creating your dunce cap stem.
Still working on the tomato hat. So that's the phase that I'm in right now. But the whole process has been delightful. The vibe here is fantastic. It's so fun.
It's been fun coming down here.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I just can't wait to be in it. I mean, I'm hoping my costume's actually going to work.
I'm crossing my fingers that she doesn't fall down in this little.
Well, and I'm crossing my fingers here. We can cross our fingers that she doesn't fall down.
So. I'm most looking forward to seeing all the happy faces there.
Yeah. Try to find the perfect piece. Put them on, a little bit of glue.
So one by one?
Yeah, one by one. And then when this is done, I have to take a sponge and sponge off any glue that got on top of them. But, you know, I haven't done this in many years, and this is an old piece. It's probably about 8 or 10 years old. And this is the first time I've taken them off and redone them. So they do stay on, you know, it's just tedious.
Okay, so you're gonna, when you win, whoever wins, you better have someone in mind by the time you come up here to say who you want to thank. You gotta thank 2 people, the first one better bring them on. Yes! Okay, all right.
First winner is me. Oh no. I'm assuming all the numbers are the same except the last 3, 460.
460. Any 460s? The last 3 numbers. All right, Bruins Blend. Thank you. All right, Eva just came in and made this manta ray with her amazing aunt who works for the Department of Ecology. So, who do you want to thank?
Well, I want to thank my aunt, and then also just everyone who's helped me out in figuring out how to build this, and everyone who's been so nice and helpful. So, yeah.
Okay, so for the last month, every Saturday, there's been scones and cookies and all of the stuff. Larry! So thank you to Larry. Thank you to Larry. Thank you, Larry. All right, draw again. All right. He's already caffeinated.
Let's see who's behind. Would you like to draw a number? All right.
You go to this end. Can you pull on your piece there? Just pull that. Well, last night, I was cheering everyone on, saying, you know, thank goodness it's Wednesday and it's not Thursday. And now that it's Thursday, I'm going like, oh my gosh, I wish it was Wednesday. So it is, but it's not Friday. So that's the big word on the streets in my world. It's like, well, it's not Friday, so a miracle can still happen. Maybe 30 volunteers will show up who really know what we're doing, you know, and we'll get it done. But no, it's pretty exciting. It's like a cactus bloom, you know, it shows up, you know, in the last, you know, it rains, they show up for 3 hours and they disappear. So that's sort of what we're counting on when it comes to all this art, that it just, the magic of panic, the rain of panic shows down and blooms pop up and we'll be ready to go.
My name's Ann Pello, and I've been involved in the procession probably 16 or so years. Yeah. These beauties, we call them spangles or fish on sticks, though there's all different species. We got some turtles and whales, and we do have fish. We have butterflies and bumblebees, and they're sometimes used in conjunction with some of the floats or the carts, or we have a bunch of monarchs that are going to be with the big monarch. And other times we hand them out to folks as they're milling about at the beginning of the procession, wishing they had done something to be involved, or accompanying someone, often a child who's got a big project, but they themselves don't have anything. And then this is a way to jump in with the procession. These go on big, tall bamboo poles, and they shimmer. This will get ribbon on all of these little spots, and they just also lift the procession way up off the street, so they add that next dimension to the procession as well, along with some of the windsocks that get made.
My name is Yoshi, and I have been in procession since 2000, maybe 2000. So when my kids are little, she was in the preschool, and then we joined the preschool processions. And I have an art degree background, so I really enjoy doing whatever the creation, and then also the concept of that. Art and also nature, and then also the saving earth. So that's all really I enjoyed working. This year I just went to Costa Rica and then saw red-eyed tree frogs. So I'm working on from that good memory of Costa Rica, and then Costa Rica is a very environmental friendly place, so I would like other people to maybe recognize what we could do to help Earth. And I don't know, so far I'm not super proud of my work, but I'm gonna finish.
The major components are in good enough position. A little touch-up work on them and they'll look great, and that's the wings, the body, and the abdomen. I actually still don't have a head, but the head's coming. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So I just have to finish this piece and assemble it.
You can. Because you don't want it to get those EMFs. Well, so far it feels like I'm on track. What I have over here is the tail. This comes up, I'm going to put this on over here. This attaches to here.
Oh, wow.
And I have a clip in here so I can pull it tight, so I can hook it in, pull it up tight. unlock it into place. What I'm doing right now is I'm isolating the colors. Because I'm gonna have different colors on top and bottom. So I'm putting this in so that I don't blend the colors inside, because it's a fairly sheer product. I'm still hoping to get lights on the tail, but my goal is to get the lights completely done and wrapped on the body today.
Oh, you know, it's fun. It's, you know, this is the part where you have to put it all together. So it's a little, you know, it's hard to take fabric and make it a shape. But it's fun. I mean, I've got my dear friend from Colorado is here, and she's out assembling the legs and getting the tentacles covered in their batik fabric. And this is, now we're trying to get the head. I'm just putting pins in so I know where to sew.
Did you see a bug?
Well, so the axolotl head fell over, and that's when it was decided that my infant structure wasn't strong enough. So we had to kind of go back and replace the PVC poles with bamboo poles, which are stronger, and then just kind of reinforce the head a little bit better. And then, yeah, I mean, since then it's finding the space. As you can see, this place has filled up. And then, of course, the axolotl is taking up like a third. You know, that was kind of the thing. It's like, okay, so I need 15 feet this, you know, like, yeah. So anyway, we figured it out. The tail, when I first mounted it, because everything that happens in your brain when you're thinking about it is much different than the reality of it when you start putting it together. So no exception on the tail. So the tail was too wobbly, so it had to be reinforced with wire. And then the tail was too heavy. So when I got the tail on, the hoops, it kind of sagged. So it's just hours and hours of troubleshooting. But I don't know, I'm exhausted. But it's done. I want to add, you know, like the fun detailing. I want to put some more freckles on it, detail it a bit. Being that there's rain in the forecast, I might put a lacquer on the legs so they don't melt. But other than that, we're good to go.
Direction, headed down there. Put it right on the yellow stripe.
Okay. Lighting, like doing lights on. I'm here. Lights on.
Turn it on. Not me.
procession day, I am so excited. And I tell this all the time to people who have never been in procession, that it is like being high on life.
I just can't get away for.
All right, so anyway, so you guys are in the lead of fire. That sun is going to be behind you, right? And the fire dancers are in front of you, okay? And just so when the fire dancers finally show up, tell them that
Here, it's a relief. We're finally at the fun part. Yeah, really, this is the fun part.
My name's Shanna Paxton. I am a photographer. I've been shooting for over 20 years, and this is one of my favorite events in the community. I've never seen anything quite like it. I love it, and capturing all the joy on everyone's faces in the parade is great. I've never seen a parade where if you see someone you know in the viewers area, they will come out and hug you. So I'm happy to be here. Yay, procession!
And we're going to go to the beginning and be ready to go, and we'll continue to warm up from there, all right?
And so what art does, what culture does, it intercepts that huge onslaught of competition for those moments, for that space, where you can still be active in your creative spirit, you can still be active in your identity. You're not stepping outside of society, but stepping into something that allows you to be within yourself, to identify yourself, to witness your creative spirit, and literally, physically, intellectually, spiritually intercept all the other dynamics that are competing for that very, very precious space. That's why art's important.